All right, welcome to our first video. Today we're going to be practicing operations on integers. Now, the first thing we need to discuss is what an operation is. And of course, by now you should know that your operations are going to be addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay? So the next step is, what is an integer? You should be familiar with integers by now, but just as a review, an integer is a whole number that can be positive, negative, or 0. Okay? So your integers include all of your positive numbers, your negative numbers, and of course 0. So we are obviously going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing these types of numbers. So let's look at our rules. Our rule for addition: if the signs are the same, add the values and keep the sign. So if they're both positive numbers, you'll add the value and keep that positive sign. If they're both negative numbers, you're still going to add the value, but your answer will be negative. You'll keep the sign from both. Okay? Rules for subtraction. The way I like to handle the subtraction problems is to rewrite the problem as addition and then use this rule. Okay? There is a song that goes along with this concept that might be helpful to you, but I, of course, am a math teacher, not a singer. So I will verbally just say it, and it goes to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So during tests and quizzes, if it helps you to kind of, in your head, of course, not out loud, but in your head, sing these words to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat, I'm perfectly fine with that. The way the song goes is same signs, add and keep. Different signs, subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger one, and then you'll be exact. So that's another way to handle the subtraction, but for me, I like to just rewrite it as addition and handle it that way. So let's get started on some examples. Find each sum. So in these first ones, we're just going to be adding, because the word sum obviously goes along with adding. So we have 2 plus 5, which of course is 7. And then we're going to follow our rule up here. If the signs are the same, which they are, add the values, so 2 and 5 is 7, and keep the sign. Since both of these are positive, your answer is also going to be positive. Same thing down here, 4 and 5. These are positive values, so 4 plus 5, sorry, said that backwards. 4 plus 5 is 9. They are both positive, so your answer also is going to be positive. Number 5, 8 plus 4, well, that is going to be 12. And once again, both positive, so your answer is positive. Hopefully by now you are catching on to this. Now we're going to deal with some negatives. Here we have negative 2 plus negative 7. This is written as addition, so I'm going to follow my rule for addition. If it were written as subtraction, I would change it first, but I don't need to do that this time. So, same signs, we're going to add them. 2 and 7 is 9. And then it says, keep the sign. Okay, so if the signs are the same, and they are, keep the sign that they share, the sign they have in common, which is negative. So your answer is going to be negative 9. Number 9, okay, here we have different signs, but it is still written as addition. So we're going to think about our song, same signs, add and keep. Okay, these are the same signs, but these are different. So the rest of our song says, different signs, subtract, then keep the sign of the bigger one. So let's go ahead and subtract. Now here, you're going to want to subtract the bigger number, or I'm sorry, the smaller number from the bigger number, okay? So even though 2 is first, we need to go 7 minus 2, and that's going to be 5. Then we need to keep the sign of the bigger one. So value-wise, 7 is bigger than 2, and the sign that comes with 7 is a negative sign, so that's going to be our answer. Now this song is actually really helpful, so if I were you, I would definitely use this song or this saying to help you remember these rules. Same signs, add and keep. Well, these do not have the same signs. 8 is positive and 2 is negative. Different signs, subtract. So 8 minus 2 is going to be 6. Then the rest of the saying goes, keep the sign of the bigger one, and then you'll be exact. So here, 8 and 2, of course 8 is bigger than 2, and 8 is positive, so our answer is going to remain positive. Okay? Now, I'm going to have you try the even numbers yourself at the end of this video. Okay, let's keep going. Find each difference. So now we're going to look at our rules for subtraction because of course you know that the word difference goes with subtraction. Now I'm going to rewrite any of these problems that are written as subtraction, I'm going to rewrite them as addition. Okay. And then I'm going to use my rule over here. So let's get started. Number 13, this is written as subtraction. The way I can write this as addition is subtracting any number is the same thing as adding a negative. Those go hand in hand. So I'm going to rewrite this as an addition problem. So negative 7 plus negative 1. Okay? Now I can follow my rule for addition. If the signs are the same, add the values and keep the sign. So these values are the same now. This is a negative and this is a negative. So add 7 plus 1 is 8, and then keep the sign. They're both negative, so your answer needs to be negative. Okay. Here we go. I have this one written as subtraction again. I'm going to write this as an addition problem. Now, hopefully you've heard by now that 2 negatives make a positive. So here I have 2 negatives. It's going to turn to 3 plus 4. These 2 negatives together make a positive. So then it's just 3 plus 4, which is 7. Okay. So keep going down the line, and I'm going to go through this more quickly now. Negative 3 plus negative 7. Same signs, add them, and keep the sign. Here, negative 4 plus negative 6. Same signs, add, and keep. Same thing here, negative 8 plus negative 5. Same signs, add and keep. Add and keep means keep the sign, okay? So once again, I'm going to have you do these evens on your own. Let's move down. Evaluate each expression. Now you're going to notice here that we're going to have more than 2 numbers in one expression. Now, when you have more than 2 numbers, don't get confused. Just take it one pair at a time. And what I mean by that is when they're all the same operation, you just go from left to right, the same order you would when you're reading a book. Straight across, okay? So we're going to start by doing 8 minus negative 11 first, and then get that answer, and then subtract negative 5 from that answer. And let me show you what I mean. 8 minus negative 11, this is subtraction, so I'm going to rewrite it as addition. And